ESPN's Mike Rice, right? Mike Rice reports that the Patriots officially announced that Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback over Drake Maye. Maye says that he and the entire Patriots organization had been 100% behind Jacoby from the start. He added that the gap closed between the two with how Maye played in the preseason, but there was not a significant enough leap for him to become the starter. The Patriots will not give Drake Maye an official timetable of when he would be named as the starting quarterback at any time this season. The Patriots would likely only rush to switch to Maye if Brissett plays very poorly. Brissett has previously experienced with the offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, and he played for the Browns in 2022. And he coached the Browns. He was the who was the coach of the
coordinator?
Why did you have him as coach? He was the offensive coordinator of the Browns in 2022. You went out in the top 3 picks and you drafted a guy like Drake Maye. And I think when you're drafting a guy in the top 5, you have to start them. You have to. Because right now, I'm going to say this. Jerod Mayo, he could be one and done this year. He could be one and done this year. You think Robert Kraft is going to be okay with a 5-win season or 6-win season? And by the way, all the TikTokers that have taken shots at me on why they should start Jacoby Brissett on the last take that I had on Tuesday, shame on you. Because if you know anything about football, and I know everybody says it's all about developing a quarterback. If you know anything about football, your coach is put in a bad position right off the bat. He needs to win now. And this isn't the New York Jets where they're a losing organization. This is the New England Patriots that have won 6 Super Bowls in 25 years. They need to win now. Robert Kraft is not going to sit there with this fan base and say, okay, we're going to have 5 or 6 really bad seasons and we strike out on Drake Maye. Who cares? Drake Maye, we're going to know in 2 years if he's the guy or he's not the guy. If you wait until the middle of the season, that means you're going to go into next season and you're going to start the clock then. And that means you're going to wait 3 more years to wonder if he's your guy. And then by then, you're going to have 2 new coaches, a new GM, and an organization that's going to be looking for another quarterback. I'd start Drake Maye this year. If you're not going to start him in the beginning of the season, you wait 5 games, and then you start him over Jacoby Brissett. You're not winning this year. You're not winning. You're probably the 2nd worst team in the AFC right now. That's how bad you're going to be. The Chargers aren't going to be good either this year because they have a new coach and a new scheme, and they're going to have to start all over again because Justin Herbert doesn't really have wide receivers. He's going into the season without his 2 best wide receivers, both of them playing for 2 different teams. So, again, if you look at the position that the Patriots are in, I understand Jacoby Brissett gives you the best chance of winning. What are you winning? What are you winning? You're not going to beat the Jets at all this year. You're not going to beat Buffalo. Even with the problems the Buffalo Bills have right now in the secondary, you don't stand a chance against Buffalo. You're not beating Miami. You're going to go 0-6 in your own division. That's 6 games you're going to lose in your own division. The Patriots usually win the majority of their divisional games. I don't think that they have a losing record in their division in the last 25 years. Even last year, I don't think they had a losing record. I think they were 3-3 last year.
Yeah, they beat the Bills last year, definitely.
I think they were 3-3. They beat Miami and they beat the Jets. I'm going to tell you this right now. They're not going 3-3 in this division. They'll be lucky to win 1 game in this division.
No, and then it'll probably be against the Jets.
Maybe. It could happen. But I'm just saying, why not see what the kid has? See what the kid is. Because to me, you're going to see a lot of Jaden Daniels. You're going to see a lot of Caleb Williams, but you're going to see none of Drake Maye, where everybody thought before going into the draft that Drake Maye was the best ready quarterback out of all 3 of them, and he's the only one not starting out of the 3? That doesn't make sense. And Jerod Mayo says he played just as well as Jacoby Brissett. So you're telling me you would rather start the season with a guy that on any other team would be a 2nd or 3rd quarterback on your roster? That doesn't make sense. That's coaching. If I was Robert Kraft, I'd be like, I'd be telling Jerod Mayo, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? I don't believe the Patriots have good wide receivers. They don't. They have, like Jeff says, they have a lot of number 2s and number 4s. That's what they have. They don't even have number 3s. There are they got 2 number 2s, and the rest of them are all number 4s that probably wouldn't be on any other roster.
They're worse than the Giants. That says a lot.
They're not good, okay? But if you could see the growth of Drake Maye, and Drake Maye makes those number 2s and number 4s all number 2s, and maybe one of them a number 1, you could go out in the offseason and say, you know what? We're going to dabble. We're going to spend the money. We're going to go after T. Higgins. We're going to go after another wide receiver. We're going to put 2 elite or great wide receivers with our young quarterback, and we're going to ride it out. But if you don't know what he is, why would you spend the money in the offseason? As an organization, and by the way, you're going to have to overpay T. Higgins. You're going to have to overpay another wide receiver because nobody's going to want to play with the Patriots because you don't know what your quarterback is.
Yeah, and that's the trajectory with a lot of these younger quarterbacks now. You're seeing a lot of them get tested, learn the game, read defenses. Even if you're not winning right now, then they'll bulk up and get your skill players around you. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to that, like we were talking about with the Bengals and C.J. Stroud with the Texans emerging right away. But I was talking about Josh Allen on Tuesday. Josh Allen, in his rookie year, made Robert Foster, an undrafted rookie, good, an overweight Kelvin Benjamin, an old Emmanuel Sanders, but he started pretty early in the season. I think the 3rd game of the season. Now, maybe that happens with Drake Maye. Maybe they say, okay, Jacoby Brissett's going to play like 2 games or so, then Drake Maye starts right away.
They're not going to do that.
I don't think they will either because the Patriots are very stubborn as an organization.
You say they shouldn't?
No. No, I agree with you. He should be starting right away. I'm saying the Patriots won't. I agree with you because they're a very stubborn organization.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to this. Next year's draft class is not going to be good for quarterback. The year after, it's going to be good. It's going to be a very good draft class in 2 years. So if Drake Maye isn't your guy, ask the New York Jets. If Drake Maye isn't your guy in 2 years, you could say, you know what? We're going to probably want to be one of the worst 5 teams in the NFL. We'll go after another quarterback. As we've seen the Chicago Bears do it, we've seen the Jets do it, and we've seen the Cleveland Browns do it year in and year out.
Arizona too, back-to-back years.
They dig and they dig and they dig until they find one. If Drake Maye isn't the guy in the next 2 years, then no harm, no foul. In 2026, you go dig deep and you find the quarterback of your future. I just think this is a bad idea because now you're going to go into the season with Jacoby Brissett. Let's say the Patriots win their first 2 games. Okay, they're 2-1, and they're like, let's ride it out. Jacoby's bringing us wins. And then you go 10 or 11 games in the season, and then you bring this young kid in to the season where this team is not going to protect him, not put him in a very good position to succeed. And then you know what's going to happen? He's going to go 0-8 in the last 8 games of the season. And then all the Patriot fans are going to be slamming Robert Kraft and slamming the New England Patriots on drafting this kid over Daniels or not trying to move up for Caleb Williams.
Right. And again, it's a natural trajectory that you have to realize these guys have to play to learn defenses. Like, I understand. I know there's a lot of Patriots fans argument, oh, you don't want to get them hit. I'm not saying you can't like simplify the scheme, do more quick passes, stuff like that to ease him in. That's fine. But still let him play relatively quickly in the season. Otherwise, you're not going to learn the same kind of thing. I know everyone's going to make the Jordan Love argument, but Jordan Love was a very raw prospect. He needed to sit. If Jordan Love started in his first year with the Packers, if Aaron Rodgers got hurt, he was not going to be as good as he was last year. And that kind of thing doesn't happen with Drake Maye, who's experienced. He started a lot in college. Like
I'm sorry to cut you off. I hate it when people bring up Jordan Love. I am hating it that everybody keeps bringing up Aaron Rodgers. These guys were late first-round draft picks. Late. Aaron Rodgers was drafted in the 20s. Jordan Love was drafted in the 20s. Russell Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round. Okay? Do you want me to go on and on and on? This guy was drafted in the top 10, the top 3 pick. All the other guys, Caleb Williams is starting. Jaden Daniels is starting. Why the hell isn't Drake Maye starting when everybody said he is a pure quarterback? He's a pure thrower, NFL-style quarterback. He's the best quality quarterback in this draft class to start the season as. And you're going to start him on the bench? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Even Bo Nix is starting.
Stupid.
Even Bo Nix is starting when we didn't expect him to start.
Give me some mayo.
On a Broncos team that is just as bad.
It's a bunch of baloney.
If not worse than the Patriots. And then he's getting a chance to start. I understand. Okay, you have Sean Payton there. Fine. All right, he's his guy. But Jerod Mayo and this offensive coaching staff should be able to ease him in. We talk about all the time, like cater to the quarterback's strengths if you don't think he's ready right away. That's why a lot of these quarterbacks still have faster starts to their career than they realize.
That he played just as well as Jacoby Brissett. He said it. He said he actually outplayed Jacoby Brissett. So why isn't he starting? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. None of it does. I watched him.
I'll tell you why, Errol.
I can't wait to hear this one.
He's a scared. Jerod Mayo is a scared. He doesn't think that a rookie is going to enable him to win games. He's going to make stupid rookie mistakes and he's going to get fired because he's the guy after the guy. And the guy after the guy never keeps his job, as we know when it comes to managers in any sport. Belichick is arguably the greatest of all time. Mayo is going to be the blip, that little afterthought name on, that's the guy that followed him, and he was gone within 2 years because that's what he's looking at if he goes with May and it doesn't work out perfectly. He's a defensive coach. He doesn't know how to bring quarterbacks along. He needs an established guy because he can't coach it. That's what he's telling us with this decision, that although May has more talent, at least Brissett knows how to do all the stuff that I don't know how to do. So Brissett's better for our team, so we're going to win. It's being a scared, in my opinion. It's a soft move.
It is stupid. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I bet you any amount of money that Robert Kraft and Jerod Mayo was watching the Pat McAfee show when Bill Belichick was out there saying that rookie quarterbacks should not be starting, and Tom Brady saying that rookie quarterbacks should not be starting. That's what I think that's where they got this is, you know what? I'm going to listen to Bill Belichick and I'm going to listen to Tom Brady, even though they have nothing to do with my organization. I'm going to listen to them. I think it's a stupid move. I think this is a dumb move by the Patriots. And what is it going to do when you're 8 games into the season or 9 games into the season? You bring this young kid in when the team is 0-7 or 1-8, and you're putting all the pressure on this kid to step on a football field and be the savior of this team and this organization. And if he goes 1-7 or 0-8, every single Patriot fan's going to say, why didn't we get Jayden Daniels? Why didn't we move up to get a guy like Caleb Williams? Look at the numbers he's putting up. Look at the team that he's playing for. And look at the coach that he's playing for. I'm telling you right now, this is a dumb move by them, and I think this is going to backfire in Jerod Mayo. I think it's going to backfire in Robert Kraft, and they're going to look like an organization that's always been smarter than the average bear. They're going to be looking like a completely rookie organization, a.k.a. the New York Jets. So I don't like it. I don't like the move, and I'm not even a Patriot fan. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't stand the New England Patriots. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a bad move by them. And I'm going to tell you mark my words, the fans are going to backfire at him. They're going to backfire Jerod Mayo. Jerod Mayo is going to be fired at the end of the year because he didn't pick Drake Maye over Jacoby Brissett. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking to former 8-year MLB outfielder, our friend Kevin Mench.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Speedy. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including the Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out all your local listings for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Shout out to Eric, my buddy. Tom, I still see you, buddy. I'm looking forward for you to come and see the live show at Miller's Ale House in Long Island at Lake Grove. All the fans out there, September 5th, we will be doing a live show. That's next Thursday. Thursday night football, the first game of the season. Kansas City. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions versus the Baltimore Ravens. In the AFC title game, we will be live doing a show over there at Miller's Ale House. So come down, hang out, take pictures, watch our crazy show right live in front of every single fan out there here in Long Island. Before we announce our first guest, Bovada. Go check out Bovada, ladies and gentlemen. Our QR login code on our website at the top of the page. 100% of your first deposit. That means if you put $100 down, you get $200. $200, you get $400. $400, you get $800. $800, you get $1,600. Maybe if you're a rich guy like Mr. Mensch over there, you put $1 million down, you get $2 million. So $2 million to bet on. Where are you going to get that deal? Bet on almost anything, including the presidential election. I don't want to get into that. You can withdraw from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. They're the only betting stream, the betting app that you can use Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. No limitations on what state, except here in the tri-state. You cannot use Bovada here in the tri-state, Connecticut, New York, or New Jersey, but everywhere else, practically, you can. I think in 41 states. All you have to do is hit our link on our website and, log in, and you get a chance to get that deal that we're offering right now on our website. This guy is all about deals. Wheeling and dealing. He's sitting, he's enjoying himself. I love that Schmidt jersey right behind him. We're now talking to former 8-year MLB outfielder, Mr. Kevin Mensch. Kevin, what's up, buddy?
Good, Earl. I wore the wrong shirt. I should have worn my wife beater out here.
Well, you should. And I mean, I can help you out with that. I mean, but
oh gosh, nice picture.
Yeah, you can go Shrek. But listen, if you're wearing a wife beater, you have to grab your breast because it's an inside joke. So you're gonna have to grab your breast. So you don't have to do that. We don't want to embarrass you. I've done that enough on the show. But anyways, Kevin, we're very happy to have you on. The last time we had you on, we had a lot of fun. And a lot to get into with baseball. 3 weeks away from the season's end. A lot of teams. The Yankees right now are fighting for that pennant. Philadelphia right now. The Dodgers. I mean, there's so many good teams right now fighting for their pennant and in the division. Going into this season, I thought that the Yankees were far along the best team in the major leagues. Not because I'm a Yankee fan, because I just thought they adding Juan Soto really solidified their offense. They solidified to protect a guy like Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is having an unbelievable season. He could win the Triple Crown. I don't think he will, but he could win the Triple Crown. He's having an unbelievable season. Going into the season, did you think the Yankees were going to be this good?
I did not. I mean, they're always that division itself between Toronto, Baltimore, and the Yankees, and you never know with Boston, but they've been really just struggling for the most part of the year. And so it's you never know, right? Yankee fans always come with high expectations, right? Garrett Cole, Nestor or Cortez and everything. These guys are all. The problem is you get to the bullpen and everything else. I mean, you can bang a ball around the ballpark all the time, but if you can't keep the ball in the yard, you're going to have problems. You know, and I know you love Aaron Judge, but right, his regular season hasn't really translated to a postseason success, right? So I mean, and the problem, I mean, if you hear guys during the regular season, it's kind of, it's almost like a spring training. Yeah, we'll just groove fastballs, right? Hopefully, you can get by them. You get to the postseason, guys are pinpoint with everything, and they tend to expose, weaknesses, and I think that's what they do with Judge from my perspective. But it could just be a mental thing as well, right? But you never know. But baseball is such a. There's so much that can happen. I mean, you see teams back into the playoffs, right? I mean, you've got, I think, 06, St. Louis backed in because Houston ended up losing. They are a wild card team. They go on to win the World Series. It just takes somebody to get hot, and at this time of year, you've got to have especially in a longer series, right? Depends on if you can get through. I mean, my brother-in-law's team, the 05 White Sox, I think they lost one game, right? They had four, not dominant, top, mid-90s guys. They just had guys that could get outs, right? That's what you need. You need guys to get outs because guys' buttholes are, you can stick a piece of coal there and get a diamond. But it's so, I mean, there's a lot that really goes these next few weeks. I mean, I don't know, with expanded rosters, how the playoff rosters go, if they're able to do that. You get guys, I mean, heck, you could have a guy that hadn't, Jackson Holiday finally starting to help out a little bit, right? I mean, he came up, struggled, went back, now he's back. So, I mean, you never know. One of these guys could just take off. But there's just so many different anomalies that can happen and go through in these next few weeks.
But that's why the Yankees brought in Juan Soto, because Juan Soto is the protection for Aaron Judge, and the Yankees haven't had a guy like Juan Soto over the years. I think a guy that it plays very well in the playoffs, and Juan has been a career like 325 hitter in the playoffs, and he puts up huge numbers. I think that was the reason why the Yankees made the trade with San Diego in the offseason, and why Aaron Judge has really been a completely different player this year. So what are your thoughts with Juan Soto now in the lineup going to the playoffs? And what the Yankees could do now, and what I think Aaron Judge's numbers are going to be a lot better because teams are going to have to pitch to one or the other. So one of these guys is going to be bopping that ball out of here.
You're right, because they usually have that. You want that lefty righty mix, right? Because you don't want them to go to. I don't know what the pitching rules are now, right? When I played, you could bring a lefty in, one guy. If it's a lefty, then you switch. Now I don't know if they have to stay for so many. Yeah, I mean, this is just stupid in itself. I mean, that's not baseball, right? But so I mean, it gives them that option to do that, right? You go left. It's what Judge hit 3? No, he was leading off the other day or something, wasn't he?
Yep, he was leading off because he could get up to the plate a lot more, and that's what the Yankees want to do. They want him to get up as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, but then I don't know what kind of year Stanton's having.
Stanton's playing well.
Is he? So I mean, yeah. So I mean, then I guess the biggest thing that just is the health issue. Really, that's what they've had to deal with. So I mean, it's a lot, and that's why these September games are so important because you're against your division, right? You go out and just start beating the crap out of each other these last few weeks, right? You've got teams that really aren't in it anymore. Tampa they made their trades, they got rid of everything. So, you never know what guys are, what's going to happen. Or do you rest some guys depending on what is the East lead right now?
One game. They're back and forth with Baltimore. The Yankees right now have 78, and Baltimore has 77. And
okay.
Both teams are going to fight to the end. And I think the Yankees play Baltimore one more time, if I'm not mistaken. I think they play them in one more series. So I think that's going – if they do play them one more time, I don't know what the – how many games do we have left, Speedy?
Yeah, they do play September 24th through the 26th at Yankee Stadium.
I think whoever wins that series is probably going to win the division.
Yeah. Well, I think the Yankees come here next week. Mm-hmm. They're in Texas next week. So, I mean, I think Texas is too far out now to make it to make a run. But you've got teams that are they're going to do everything they can to make sure right they can throw a wrench into the entire thing. So I mean I think even the Central is pretty close, right? There's 3 teams within.
The Royals just they had the division lead for briefly. I think Cleveland just took it back, but the Royals have gotten hot in the second half.
Oh, I love the Royals.
I do too.
Detroit too, right? Detroit's not too far back, right? Minnesota?
They finally got over 500. They're still about 9 games back or so this will be very hard for them. But they had too many offensive issues at the beginning. But they're one of the hottest teams in the second half too. Yes,
I mean that's what I mean. It just takes somebody to get hot. But it'll be interesting to see how these last few games play. I forget how many games that were left, but I think Yankees come here for 4. Mm-hmm. I think they're here for 4. So I mean, you never know. And I think DeGrom is going to be back as well. So. I mean, that's the thing. You've got guys that are just coming off. I mean, the big game pitchers now. All of a sudden, here you go. But also could preparing them for, the postseason and how it goes. So I mean, think about it. So whoever probably gets the wild card out of the East is going to get what? Probably the Central.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, is there really?
That's why the Yankees need to win. They need to win the American League, because if they don't win the American League, they're going to be positioned where they could actually probably play Cleveland in the wild card game, and they don't want to play Cleveland. Cleveland always gives them a problem, or maybe even be matched up if somehow Seattle takes over for Houston, have to play Houston in the wild card game.
They
definitely don't want that.
That's going to happen,
and they don't really want to do that. I'm just saying. Well, Seattle's only out by 3.5 games.
No, their pitching's phenomenal. They're all so bad. They're like a tale of like extremes.
Yeah, exactly. But good pitching beats good hitting anytime, right? That's what pitching and defense win games. So I mean, gosh, a lot of the division, even the NL East is the same way. The NL West, right? I mean, you've got. I wonder how many teams are still in the hunt this late in the year.
Yeah,
at least 20.
Mm-hmm. There's a stat right now that no team is on pace right now to win 100 games, which would be the first time, I think, in like 70 years or something like that.
That's what I mean. So what you're starting to see now, you're starting to see more parity, right? Teams that can play with what they're developing young talent, right? There's always going to be your Yankees that go out and make a trade for a Juan Soto or a big splash. But you're starting to see more and more parity in baseball, which is good, I think, for the fans. But the rules are still destroying the game.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you.
It's funny. You're mentioning the Texas Rangers. I saw something last week, like DeGrom and Scherzer were doing their rehab starts in one series, and then the other pitcher that was pitching for them was Kumar Rocker. So a sad state for Mets fans everywhere.
Yes, exactly. That's the fun part, though. Yeah, I think Kumar Rocker he almost threw a no-hitter. He had 5 innings, 10 strikeouts last night in AAA. He was like 98 to 100. Yeah. So I mean, that's today's radar guns, but I mean, still going out and dominating that way, it's just a matter of. But you never know. So with DeGrom, if he's going to be healthy and everything else. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. But it's going to be fun to see for sure, to see how this all plays itself out. The pressure of the postseason and what you're trying to do. So
I know you're a big pretty reluctant about some of the rule changes in the past. One of the ones that came out a couple of weeks ago was they were proposing a 6-inning minimum for starting pitchers, unless you allow 4 runs or unless you get hurt. Like, what are your thoughts on that kind of thing? Trying to balance it out to go old school more, you think, or is it still a problem?
The problem is it doesn't start at the major league level, Speedy. It starts in youth baseball, right? High school baseball guys aren't throwing that much. They're getting in there. I mean, I like it to the extent of you're trying to stretch guys out. But now you're basically have to revert back to guys that are in college. You know, your starters are going to have to go 7 innings again, right? Now you get into pro ball, right? You get them to 6-7 innings, but it's almost like the whole thing with basketball, right? Too much workload, right? Let's. I mean, I like the thinking behind it. I just don't think there's any way that that's going to happen within like the next 10 years. The way the game is played now, guys' arms aren't built for it. So I'm sure if they do that, you're going to see an uptick in injuries again because they're trying to change it. I mean, the pitch clock's already done that, and you've heard from players talking about what the pitch clock has done. So now all of a sudden they're going to make, man, I got to go 2 more innings for, yeah. And I get it. You know, when I was playing, it wasn't okay. I'm 5 and dive, right? You always hear those guys, but that's what it is now. But that's what you want though. You want your starters. You want 250 innings, 300 innings, right? Not 150 for, I don't know, who's leading the league in wins this year anyway?
Total wins. I'm not even sure. Like it's probably
the Dodgers have 79.
No, pitching wise. I'm talking about pitching wise, arm wise.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Sure, Corbin Burns.
Total wins.
Is it Sale?
It might be Chris Sale. Yeah,
it might be Chris Sale. I think he has 15 wins.
Okay, I mean that's
15
and that. Yeah, so I mean, and that's what I mean. But that's a rarity anymore. You're not going to see somebody with that many wins, 20 wins, 25 wins. And maybe if that's what they're trying to get back to. I mean, you're just leave the game alone and let it just play itself out.
How about we tie Rob Manfred up, okay, and you tie him to a tree and use him as a piñata? How about that? I would love to do that. I can't stand Rob Manfred. He's the worst commissioner in professional sports. The guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't know his ass from his tailbone. And honestly, he's ruined the game. And now we have to wait until what, the end of 2025 to have a new commissioner. And maybe I thought Theo Epstein would have been perfect. But now he owns a piece of the Boston Red Sox. So unless he gives away that and he takes over the major leagues or MLB, I don't know where they go. I don't know where the MLB goes. So I just think Bud Selig really put the organization in such a bad place when he left. He gave it to Rob Manfred. And what they're doing to Pete Rose is just despicable too. I don't like it. I don't care. If Shohei Ohtani can get away with betting on baseball, and that's the truth. I don't want to hear it from anybody else. If anybody believes that Shohei Ohtani knew nothing about it, shame on you. Baseball was brushing it under the rug. If Shohei Ohtani could get away with it, why the hell isn't Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? The greatest hitter in Major League history is not in the Hall of Fame, and we got to wait until he drops dead to see him go to the Hall of Fame. Shame on Bud Selig. Shame on Rob Manfred. A bunch of idiots. By the way, we are talking to right now former 8-year MLB outfielder, our friend Kevin Bench. How do you like that one, buddy? I mean, you're no gambling, right? It's written on, it's in the wall, not written. Apparently, it's going to be written in Japanese now on the wall, on the clubhouse locker room wall. But right, I mean, you've got Bitcoin, you've got gambling on jerod uniforms and stuff, and now you don't want to put a guy in who was betting on baseball when he was a manager. He wasn't even playing. It's about playing. What you did while you were playing. There's murderers, rapists in the Hall of Fame, and you're not going to let this dude in? David Ortiz was a cheater. He was a straight-up cheater. He was on that list, Tim, whatever his name
Mitchell
is.
Report.
The Mitchell
Report, yep.
On the Mitchell.
And that wasn't anonymous, by the way. The whole thing, because that year when we got tested, this is your test. Okay. Yeah, why is there a number assigned next to that big X right there, right in the name? And that's how you got a part of it. You know what they should do? I don't know if I was on a show that's talking about the Hall of Fame should put one section like they did, for the women's professional baseball league, just the steroid era, the steroid guys, put them in there. That thing would draw more attention than the rest of it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look at the list that you would have: Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, which we talked to the other day, and he's fantastic, great personality. And if you watch the interview that we had with Raf, he was pretty adamant on who should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Sammy Sosa, yeah, if you look at Sammy's numbers before he did steroids, they're not good. But I don't give a crap. It doesn't make you see the ball. Maybe it makes you hit more home runs or makes you, collide with the ball a little more. You still have to hit the goddamn ball. I mean, seriously, it's not easy. So it's the hardest thing in professional sports is hitting at the plate, guessing them throwing a slider, a curveball, a changeup. I mean, come on, guys. Do you really think that jacking up and sticking steroids in your ass? There are a load of guys that did steroids that never even made it to the major leagues that we've interviewed. So give me a goddamn break. I think it's pathetic. I think it's pathetic. Baseball, they're a bunch of pathetic people. The executives, the ownership, the commissioner, they're all idiots. You could take that to the game. And you know what? If you want to make me a GM, I tell every one of my players to do steroids because it'd give me a better chance to win. That's all I'm going to say.
I love it, though, but you're right. That's just, it doesn't change anything. But these guys, they're the ones that put people in the seats. McGuire, I want to go watch him. Going to go watch him hit these home run derby this year here in Arlington. Awful. Guys, I was expecting the year in Milwaukee where they were hitting them onto the catwalk, right, all the way down, just bombs everywhere. I mean, this was what look at the people here in St. Louis. This is what brought people back to the game, right? I mean, who congratulates somebody on the field right now? But these guys, it didn't matter. This was baseball. This was fun, right? No, hold on. Time out. The next thing you know what they're going to do, they're going to put a clock on your trot around the bases. If you don't do it, they're going to dock you 1 run or something.
Where are the Roger Clemens throwing the bats at Mike Piazza? That's what I like. I want to see that roid rage. I want to see that. 7 Cy
Youngs. Really? I mean, really? 7 Cy Youngs. What this guy did. These guys, but
Peyton Manning's in the Hall of Fame. He did steroids. It's been proven. Why is he in the Hall of Fame? The NFL put him in the Hall of Fame. Everybody forgets he was doing steroids.
Because the NFL's not filled with the corrupt baseball
players. Give me a break. You're going to tell me Terrell Owens didn't do steroids? You're going to tell me that half the offensive linemen that are 380 pounds of pure muscle aren't doing steroids? Give me a damn break. And you know what, Bud? I'll tell you what you do. I'll tell you. Why is Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame? How about, why is that question? This guy pushed steroids all those years. He pushed steroids, and this guy pretty much proposed himself into the Hall of Fame. It's preposterous. How is George Steinbrenner not in the Hall of Fame? How is he not in the Hall of Fame? He saved baseball. He saved baseball.
Look at this. Okay, he hit these balls 500 feet. Okay, then he hits it 350. It still goes out of the ballpark. You can't just turn on that stuff. Your average Joe, let me go do steroids, could just come out and hit a baseball. You're right. You're trying to hit a friggin' aspirin coming at 100 miles an hour, trying to hit the other way. And that's what I mean. Yes. Yes. And I've played with guys who did steroids who didn't work, didn't get caught. There are a lot of guys.
Okay, I'm not going to let you throw Jose Canseco, that big piece of garbage. He's another one. Oh, by the way, we were gonna go and do an interview with him. I don't want to even meet the guy because the only thing I want to look at is his daughter. That's the only thing. If he brought his daughter, I'll come and meet her. I don't want to meet him because I got a lot to say to him. He ruined the game of baseball. He pretty much threw all these guys under the bus who trusted him all these years. And what did he do? He just threw baseball under the bus and ruined the game. He ruined the game. And he sits there with the smile on his face after putting out his book and wanting people to, having people, want him to sign his book. I don't want to sign his. I'll write "Drop Dead, you asshole." That's what I would write on his friggin' book.
I know you mentioned the rivalry he has with A-Rod. I think on A-Rod's birthday, which is the day after mine, that's why I remember it. He was saying, "Happy birthday to a particular someone," but I'm not going to mention his name.
He ruined the game of baseball. There's no question that he did, and you know this. You know this, everybody. Kevin, you know this. Baseball should have just brushed this under the rug. It saved baseball. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. Save baseball. And by the way, I'm going to go. I want to know your question. I have a question for you. There was a radio show host out here named Greg Giannotti. I don't know if you know who he is. He's on WFAN. He does Boomer and Geo. Okay. He said something very interesting. He said that nobody's going to respect what Aaron Judge is doing right now because of what happened in the steroid era. What are your thoughts to that?
On what's his validation for all this, right? I mean, we don't know. There is none, but we don't know. That's the thing, right? You could say, yes, he is, or he's not. But, I mean, okay, you're going to go back and say the same thing about Frank Howard, who was the same size, right? Frank Howard was, well, I think he was bigger than Aaron Judge. He was like 6'8", like 350 or 370, and he couldn't even stay in the box. He was so big. But everybody wants to put it on something else because of, all right, well, steroids were doing this. Okay, maybe Aaron Judge is doing it. We don't know. But what we will know is that as long as guys have money, there's always going to be somebody out there trying to hide it, right? So that's just the way baseball goes, you know. So do we know? I don't know what kind of person Aaron Judge. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate or anything else.
I think it's hypocritical because what he's doing right now, he's not, as far as we know, he's not doing steroids. He's being tested. So he's saying that if he played in the steroid era and he didn't get caught, it would have been more impressive him doing in the steroid era than doing it now. How does that make sense? Does that make sense to you?
Not at all.
Seriously, I think it's more impressive what he's doing right now without steroids. You idiot! And I know Drake Maye. He's an idiot.
But look at, like you talked about earlier about Ohtani. Could they? What kind of a black eye would that be if, I'm just saying if, that came out that he was doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Yankees, guys leading the league in homers, could hit 60 again, right? Because, right, Ohtani, you know, we all know the whole thing Ohtani. Look at this. That was one yesterday. He hit a ball yesterday. Apparently they're saying that the balls that they're using out there are juiced as well. I mean, so I don't know. But, right, like, he knew about gambling. Come on. You know, like I don't know if we talked about it here, but I know if $20 was missing. You know, the amount of everything that's got to go through. So, yeah, he knew. But baseball has to save itself. So, I mean, I can always play conspiracy theories. Yeah, maybe they are hiding it. Maybe there are other guys that they don't want to because of that. We'll never know. But I see that. But no, just because he's not playing in that era, no. They're dudes where he was bigger than those guys. That's all it is. It's, you know.
It's pathetic.
Is that Joe Carter? Oh, there's.
It's pathetic.
You're gonna play this video?
Yeah, I did. I did play his video game, and I also want to wipe my ass with it. But that's a whole nother story. I don't play video games anymore. Oh, look who that is. The idiot over there, Jose Canseco, having a ball hit off his head.
That was the origin.
What an idiot.
That's how he got the idea.
An idiot.
That's how he got the idea to write a book after a ball hit his head.
He's such a dumbass.
That's my golfing buddy right next to him, David Hulse. That's David Hulse right there next to him.
What an idiot. And he's laughing. I'm sure he's a jackass. He can't catch a baseball. How did he play in the major leagues all those years? I have no idea. But that's a whole.
He didn't play. He DH'd, didn't he? Didn't he play?
He played for years in the outfield. On the Oakland Athletics, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. And then when he started jumping from one team to another, when he went to Texas, when he went to the Yankees, he was a DH.
Tampa. Right? Tampa.
Yeah. He's an asshole. I'm just speaking the truth. I don't usually curse on this show, but that's what he is. He's an a-hole. I never want to meet him. I remember when Nathan asked me, he's like, "You want to meet Jose Canseco?" He said, "If I go and meet Jose Canseco, I'm going to beat the hell out of him." Okay.
Maybe we should get a surprise guest one night with him.
Oh God, I'll choke him. I'll put him in a rear naked chokehold. He ruined the game of baseball. I can't stand the guy. I'll put him in an arm bar. I'll put him in a knee lock. I'll put him in a key lock. I don't give a crap. He doesn't even know what a lock is, the idiot. So, I mean, how did he write a book? I mean, the guy doesn't even know from right and wrong. He doesn't even know, probably doesn't know his ABCs. Okay? The guy's a retard.
I guess we'll have Jose Canseco climb up your list of most hated athletes along with Conor McGregor and Rick DiPietro.
You know what, Kevin, you know what I would like to have? I would love Bud Selig. I would love Bud Selig in the same studio with Jose Canseco because it would take me 5 seconds to jump over this table and try to choke both of those guys out. I can't stand both those idiots. They're jackasses. Both of them. They who knows? They're probably sleeping together. They're dumbasses. Okay, I could imagine. That would be a great picture. You know, Fish, you got to find that. Get Bud Selig behind Jose Canseco because one butt. I'm not going to say it, but
put it in the dinosaur's mouth.
Whatever they're doing. I mean, Jose Canseco's probably the dinosaur, and Bud Selig's the idiot.
We need somebody else in the T-Rex's mouth from Tuesday.
You car salesman. He becomes the commissioner of baseball. The dumbass.
They're going to rehire Manfred. They'll bring him right back. Go extend him.
I hope not. He says he's retiring. He says he's retiring in 2005, 2026. So hopefully he's gone. Ozzie Canseco. Oh, God, please. His twin brother, another jackass. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? Could you name the last, twin athletes in any professional sports that were any good? I mean, seriously.
Sedin twins?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only ones. That's good. You're a hockey fan. I could see you over there.
Oh, we were talking a lot of hockey last night on the show.
That or another guy didn't I know you're talking about how bad you hate the Patriots, but weren't the two corners brothers McCourty?
Well, one of them was good.
Yeah, Devin was good. Devin was good. Jason was okay.
Jason wasn't any.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason.
All right. Yeah, the Sedin twins, I guess.
The Sundin twins are Hall of Famers, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But would they have been Hall of Famers if they didn't play together?
That's interesting.
That's an interesting question. No,
I don't know. It all depends too. The way that the standards now for the Hall of Fame are just become. It's like what somebody said. It becomes the Hall of Average.
That's true too.
No, it's the Hall of Selective because baseball writers just like their people, and then they'll be hypocritical with everybody else. David, like Errol was talking about, David Ortiz got in on the first try, which he deserves. He's the Hall of Famer. But Edgar Martinez took 5 tries to get in, or something like that.
Barry Bonds is a first ballot Hall of Famer. The fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame right now is a catastrophe. It is a catastrophe. That guy was a Hall of Famer before he even did steroids. It's ridiculous. A 7-time Gold Glove winner with Pittsburgh. I mean, he was the best outfielder, best center fielder in baseball. I mean, I think he was close to 400 home runs and 400 stolen bases before he even played for San Francisco. Bud Selig, you idiot! Idiot! Absolutely retarded. I mean, seriously, how stupid can baseball be? Alex Rodriguez isn't a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he did stupid things. He's an ass. He's still a Hall of Famer. Come on, guys. What are you trying to sell here? Albert Bell? You're going to tell me that guy wasn't a Hall of Famer? He didn't do steroids or wasn't even proven that he did steroids. How is that guy not a Hall of Famer? He had probably had the 5 best seasons we ever seen a power hitter have. Come on, guys.
And what do you try when you think of Hall of Fame? What do you think when you think of an athlete that belongs in a Hall of Fame?
What do I think?
Yes,
I think dominance. 7 years of dominance. If he's 7-year dominance, I mean, Don Mattingly, you're going to tell me that guy's not a Hall of Famer?
Somebody that transcends the game, right? That changes the game, the way it's played, the athletes that come through. I mean, I look at the ones that I've played with that should be Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. I mean, but everything's numbers based now, right? Now WAR and everything else. I saw somebody the other day was talking about Paul Konerko. I mean, he 470 some odd home runs. He deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Billy Wagner.
He should be.
Should be. He should be in a Hall of Fame. You just wonder. I don't know. I mean, you see some of these picks of guys going in. You're just like, gosh, dog. Who is? Huh? It is. It's hard. It's hard to do it.
Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame. That I'm going to give it. I don't know Harold Baines personally. I know he's Tony La Russa's guy, and we met Tony La Russa too. And I was going to ask him that question because the truth is, everybody knows why Harold Baines got into the Hall of Fame. It was because of Tony La Russa. I'm going to tell you this right now. Harold Baines is not a Hall of Famer. I don't care if he played 26 years in the major leagues and he has 3,000 hits. He's not a Hall of Famer. Tim Raines, great player, not a Hall of Famer. Okay, I'm just what is Lee? Who's
Lee Smith?
Lee Smith. Lee Smith is not a Hall of Famer. He's not Trevor Hoffman. He's not Mariano Rivera. This guy shouldn't be.
He's not Billy Wagner.
He's not Billy Wagner. It's ridiculous.
Same thing with. I mean, look at football too. Football's the same way. I think the only one that's really legit would be hockey. With the statistics that you put up,
that's one of the Hall of Fames. Football is better than baseball, but yeah, it's still not.
Yes, but that's what I mean. But you're like. I mean, it's just like that, just like All-Star games too. Most of them, like the Pro Bowl, it's all a popularity contest, right? Yeah. The 1 year Giambi was starting for the American League, hitting like 210. Really? I mean, I thought you were supposed to the All-Star games for your best players, not. And that's what I mean. It's just been,
boneheads. Boneheads. That's what they are. A bunch of bone idiots. Yeah, boners. That's what. You know all about boners, right?
I don't.
Let the players vote. Let the players have the vote.
I said the same thing a couple of weeks ago. That was my take. They should pick, 10 players from different eras. That's what I would do. I would go 2 players from each era from the 1960s if they're alive, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s and the 2000s. That's what I would do. I'd take 10 guys, 12 guys, you sit them on a table and let them vote. Let the players vote who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because they played against them. So they know what those guys were doing on a baseball field.
Aren't you talking about Albert Pujols should be the commissioner too or something like that?
Yeah, Albert Pujols should definitely be the commissioner. I would love to see. You know why? He's very well respected. And I think he look at the game and say, what is this rule? What is that? Why do you have pizza boxes for bases? Okay. Why the hell do you have pizza boxes for bases? Rob, what are you, hungry or something? Were you were thinking, hey, you know what? I was at a pizza restaurant and hey, look, the bases should be the size of pizza boxes. He's an idiot.
Maybe they're trying to motivate Kyle Schwarber to steal bases.
He's an
Kevin,
idiot.
I know you're a Phillies guy. I'm sure you'll appreciate that.
The rule, and Ronald Acuna, he's done this, or the Ellie De La Cruz he's got so many. Ricky would steal twice as many with those bases.
Are you kidding me? That guy would have 150 stolen bases a year. I mean, maybe get a stolen base every single game. I'll say 162 stolen bases because I'll have one every single game. I mean, come on, man. Ricky Henderson blows Acuna out of the water when it comes to stealing bases. And then you look at, we're trying to compare this guy to that guy and that guy. I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this very, very nicely. I look at the athletes now; they're fantastic. They're built. The training, the facilities are beautiful, unbelievable. The players in the 90s, the players in the 80s. I'm sorry, I would take those guys because they were gritty. They played hurt. I would take those guys over the guys now any day of the week. Any day of the week. So, I'm sorry. Listen, I remember guys from the Yankees, Pat Kelly, Randy Velarde. These guys, they weren't great players, but what made them special is that they were out there every single day. Hurt, they would play with broken toes. Play with broken fingers. Now, if they get turf toe, they don't play for weeks. It's just, they're a bunch of babies. Aaron Judge runs into a wall last year, and he's out for half the season. Oh, come on, guys. I mean, come on. And you oh, my toe, it's never going to be the same.
Talk shit about toes. I had turf toe, my second toe, and it's permanently like this. Yeah. So I did play with it. I did get shot up and play with it. I think I missed about 3 games, but yeah, I got shot up, played with it, wore off about the 7th inning, and I remember taking a swing and my toe popped, and I almost fell out. Because I always heard, I'm like, football players, yeah, turf toe, blah, blah, blah. And it was always on the big toe. Mine was on my second toe, and I stepped on the base, and it popped my toe out of socket. So no. But you're right, though. That era, I mean, when we used to go back to Milwaukee for the golf thing, the Harvey's Wallbangers, all those guys, Robin Yountz, Pete Vukovich, Dale Swain, all these guys that were just nitty-gritty, Jimmy Gantner, Paul Mahler, all these Raleigh Fingers. I mean, these are teams where, like you said, these guys would run through a friggin' wall. Nowadays, they're worried about workload, right? I'm playing too much baseball.
How do you like this graphic that our executive producer just put together?
Who's at the bottom there with the head tilt?
That's Speedy.
Oh, that's Speedy. Oh. What does he eat? What is that?
I don't know what that is. It looks like a sandwich.
It does look like a sandwich. Look at Canseco. Look at how big he was. Bud. There's good old Bud. That's
good old Bud. I like to drink Bud more than look at his ugly face. And I can drink, by the way. So it just tells you how much I hate that guy. Every time. When he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, it made me sick to my stomach. Made me sick to my stomach as he got away with the steroid era. He allowed everything that was going on, and those guys are not in the Hall of Fame, but that idiot is in the Hall of Fame. How does that make sense? I would love to get Bud Selig on this show, because if I got Bud Selig on this show, I think that I'd scare him off in 2 seconds. I'd tell him, listen, Bud, you're an idiot. We all know you're a complete jackass. And giving the reins to Rob Manfred just makes you even look like a bigger idiot. So thank you for all the time. Keep selling your used cars, and when you get put into the ground, I'll piss on your coffin. Thank you. Thank you for ruining the game of baseball.
After our friend Ryan Spader wrestles him.
No, that's a whole nother story. Ryan Spader can't stand him either. So me and him, like we'll have a handicap match. It'll be me and Ryan Spader versus Bud Selig. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just think, though, this is about the owners. It's all about money. Commissioner's all about money, right? It's coming from the owners. The players don't like them. Nobody does. I saw him at the All-Star game. Somebody asked him, I said, look, you see that weasel? I was with my son. I said, you see that little weasel over there? I mean, he's only like 5'1", wandering around. I see up there's Rob. There's Manfred over there, trying to hide amongst all the gigantic men that are in the hotel and stuff. So yeah, no, he's not a very well-liked commissioner for sure.
Well, we'll tie him to a tree and use him as a pinata. That would be fun. Everybody will take their turns on him.
Kevin, I don't remember if you played with him when he was with Milwaukee. Maybe we should have Prince Fielder do something to Rob Manfred.
Yeah, I played with Prince. I was there the year he hit 50 homers. That was my 07. Yeah, oh yeah.
There you go. Well, him take some big swings at Rob.
Yes, good old. Yeah, Prince he never got cheated. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But,
no.
Kevin,
do you know the stat? Him and his father actually have the same exact amount of home runs, which is crazy.
Yes, I know. I saw that. I couldn't believe that. That's the thing, though. People go out and find this stuff. I mean, who are these statisticians go out and are able to find all these? It's just like this guy the other day played for 2 different teams in the same game.
Yeah, Danny Jansen, catcher for the Red Sox, was with Toronto. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. You thought about this 20 years ago, all these statistics guys are bringing up and everything else. But everything you look at, launch angle, exit velocity, humidity, spin rate, whatever. I mean, you get a headache just trying to go watch a game, not on top of how bad baseball is now watching it. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible, and you hope it goes back to it the way it was.
Well, we could only hope. Let's get rid of Rob Manfred and make me the commissioner.
Are you going to get a petition?
If you want to listen, people might not know who I am, but guess what? I'll make the game actually good. I'll actually change it all back and say, you know what? What we'll do is we'll get a picture of Rob Manfred, on a bobblehead, and everybody can rip his head off every single time we put it in every single ballpark. Rip his head off that bobblehead, and stick it up his ass. Okay. Anyways, Kevin, we love you. You're great. We'll get you on a lot sooner. Maybe during the playoffs. That would be fun. And have your thoughts, and you can make your pick on who's going to win the World Series.
Hey, when are we going to start talking about some football?
Oh, we will.
Yes, I know you're an Eagles fan, Kevin. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, listen, that's my second favorite.
Now, it was funny the first time we had you on the show. We had a Cowboys guy, our friend Mr. RJ Ochoa, on, and you were like, "Who cares about the Cowboys?" You were like slamming him. It was funny the first time.
What was that? Were you like? You sounded like you were humping.
You were trying to, he was trying to rip it. He was trying to rip into the Cowboys. So the entire first time we had him on the show, I know you're an Eagles fan.
That looked like somebody was ramming.
Yeah, next week they play Friday night in Brazil. Of all places, 2 green teams that can't wear green.
Yeah.
Yeah, who names my team Gangrene? Come on. Gangrene. What kind of name?
There's another great commissioner too, right? Goodell?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's totally. Listen, you got to hear my take. It goes from Rob Manfred to Roger Goodell. And who would have thought that Gary Bettman would be the best commissioner in professional sports right now? Because Adam Silver has made basketball a player's game. He pretty much says, LeBron James, do whatever you want. You want to make the rules? Hey, you want JJ Redick? You pick him as your coach, and you coach the team. You're a player's coach. And J.J. Redick's making what? $10 million or $9 million, or whatever the hell he's making, sitting on a bench and, itching LeBron's balls. I mean, seriously, or spitting on it. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, but they're probably having fun in L.A. So that's just my own opinion. But anyway. Yeah,
when I thought that Bettman was the worst commissioner at one point, I think I was in contact. I ran into someplace one time. We were talking about some of the rule changes and whatnot, but they, the hooking and the 2-line, remember the 2-line pass and the trapezoid. I'm like, come on, Gary, get rid of this stuff. I want to see Ron Hextall type fights. I want to see goalies taking body checks, not this trapezoid and the 2-line pass or whatever. What was the other big? The trap. Remember they were playing the trap forever. The Devils.
Florida Panthers.
Yep. It just clogged up the neutral zone.
Roger Nielsen was the one that really brought the trap to the NHL. If anybody remembers Roger Nielsen. Nielsen is. Panthers expansion, and that was the year of the rat in '96. Well, it was after Roger Nielsen was gone, but he brought that trap, that style, and then Doug McClain took the Florida Panthers to the Stanley Finals. I was a big hockey fan. For many, I was a hockey player, but Yeah, we'll get into hockey. We'll get with the next time we get you on the show. We'll get into hockey and football with you. There's a lot to get into, but listen, keep listening to the show. We love you. We're going to get into. We're still in a lot of football conversation. There's a lot to get into. As Brandon Ayuk just got a 4-year, $120 million contract, man. So
with San Francisco.
Francisco, yeah, they gave him a contract. Yep.
That's what they're doing. They realize, just like Jerry Jones did here with CD. They think they got jealous as soon as the Eagles traded for Dotson.
Yeah, somebody's playing with somebody's balls. So,
there's collusion everywhere. That was the biggest thing. Collusion is everywhere. These guys, it's, oh my gosh.
The Eagles have to bring back their security guard against the 49ers.
Well, Speedy, you could be the ball checker. You know?
No, I will not.
You don't want to be the ball checker?
No, we'll hire the ones that the Patriots had for deflate gates.
Well, what do you think Jalen Hurts' balls look like?
I don't care what they look like. Maybe Deshaun Watson could investigate.
I'm sure he likes to grab a lot of different things.
Oh, he does.
I thought that was Antonio Brown.
Well, he does too.
Oh, yeah. The now bankrupt Antonio Brown.
We got to stay away from Antonio Brown. He might lose his mind and grab something that we don't want him to grab. Could you imagine them two go to a massage parlor with Robert Kraft?
Good for me and good for you.
It's good for both of us.
It's good for both of us.
Hey, Rob, how was your jerk? I don't know, man. Antonio, who's squeezing your balls tonight?
I want you to slide it right in.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, where's Tom Brady?
Now we'll bring in Vontaze Burfict to tackle all three of them.
Maybe my Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach could grab me. Kevin, we love you. Had a lot of fun with you as always, and we'll be in touch, man. Stay in touch and keep listening to the show, man. We love you, man. Keep doing
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Anytime, gentlemen. I'm always available.
Kevin Mensch, fantastic, former Blue Jay, Brewer, National, knows his hockey, knows his football. He is a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I'm my second favorite team of the Philadelphia Eagles. Anybody that knows me growing up, I was a Donovan McNabb fan, followed him in Syracuse. And when I met him in Miami at the Super Bowl, I'll never forget, everybody was trying to get his autograph. And all I had to say with him, I was in the press area, and all I had to say is tell him his statistics. In Syracuse, he turned around, he smiled. He spoke to me for 15 minutes. Everybody was trying to get to him. His bouncer, who looked like he was like 6'9", 400 pounds, was trying to push being his offensive lineman, keeping everybody away from him. And he was so gracious. He had a conversation with me. So I love Donovan. All the things that happened to him at the end of his career and the way people treated him at the end of his career was just despicable. But I've always respected him as a player, and he's one of the biggest quarterbacks I've ever seen in person. I mean, that guy's arms are huge, dude.
And he can move too. He can move for his size. I've got his high school jersey, his Mount Carmel high school jersey. I found it somewhere. Yeah, man, he can move. That's the quarterbacks to do that. Now they're all built like China dolls.
They're all bitches. Just say it. They're all bitches. Just say it. I'll be very nice about it. They can all kiss my ass too. Every single one of them. Eat your heart out, Zach Wilson. You dumbass. What a waste of space that guy. Seriously. Oh. And Robert Saleh sitting there, I didn't want him. Meanwhile, when he drafted him, he said, oh, my God, this guy can throw off his back leg better than anybody I've ever seen. That dumbass. He was probably looking at the girls he was banging in the bathroom that were old enough to be his mom. Seriously. Oh.
Including the one that Christian Hackenberg hit, the reporter.
That's true, too. I mean, he couldn't hit a broadside of a barn. He's another one. I mean, seriously. All these ex-quarterbacks are just absolutely despicable.
Wasn't it the whole Brett Favre incident, too, up there?
Yeah, well, he likes to grab things. And
oh, yeah.
Listen, him and Draymond Green should, hang out with one another. I mean, obviously, Draymond Green likes to put his thing on Snapchat. And, Brett Favre likes to take pictures of his thing when he's playing with it. So, I mean, both of those guys would be pretty. They should send it to each other's wives. I think that'd be pretty cool. That'd be funny to look. I mean, who's got a bigger one? Who wants to throw these balls? That would be funny. Hey, Brett, I wonder how big your testicles are. Here's mine.
Antonio, come here.
Brett Favre, Antonio Pierce, Deshaun Watson, Robert Kraft. Oh, my God. And Draymond Green in one nice little Chinese parlor. Oh, my God. You know how LeBron James has his show in the barbershop? They can have their own show in a massage parlor.
Handcrafted.
Oh, let's go.
Come to the handcraft. Hey, Robert, have you ever grabbed on an ice shaft before? Well, I grabbed on other ones. Hey, Antonio Brown, have you ever grabbed on, balls before? Well, I grabbed on a couple of them. I do know Vontae Perfect. I wonder how big those are. Anyway, Kevin, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm losing my mind. This has been a crazy show, but we love you. And keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, gents. Appreciate it.
I'm losing my mind tonight. I am losing my mind tonight. Kevin, man, brings out the best in me. What could I say?